Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and we're going to be looking at one of our first questions here for our story problems that may or may not show up on our upcoming summative. The question that we're looking at has us analyzing two unique skulls, one of a T-Rex and one of a chicken skull. Each one has its unique structures, and the question we're looking to answer using these skulls is whether or not there is evidence that the T Rex and the chicken have a common ancestor. So, looking at these two structures, you looking at what makes each of them unique, we have to decide whether or not they have a common ancestor. Now, we're going to go over the answers. Number one, no, they do not have a common ancestor because the T Rex is a very different species with larger body structures. Option two, the T Rex has a jaw with teeth and the bird has a jaw with a beak, so they might have a common ancestor. Or the third option, both species have the three openings in the skull, which is evidence that they have a common ancestor. So take a minute in your slideshow and decide which one of these helps us decide whether or not there's evidence that these two species have a common ancestor. Pause the video and come back when you're ready to discuss the answer. All right, do you think you got it? Let's go ahead and take a look. So we know that body structures that are shared between two species are evidence that these two species inherited the shared structures from a common ancestor. So, first and foremost, just because the structures of a T Rex are larger than a chicken doesn't mean that they're not shared in some way. Just because the T Rex was larger doesn't mean that the species are too different to not have a common ancestor. The T Rex has a jaw with teeth and the bird has a jaw with a beak, so they might have a common ancestor. Well, if we're looking at the jaw or we're looking at the teeth, we need to look at those individual structures. We can't look at them necessarily together. We have to look at them as separate structures. So this wouldn't be a good answer. The best answer is going to be both species have those three openings in the skull. If you notice, our T Rex and our chicken both have that front opening near the front of their top skull. They have that blue opening right in the middle, and they have that red near the back side. So even though that they're different sizes, even though that they're different shapes, their overall placement shows us that these three sets of holes proves that there's evidence that these two have a common ancestor. So that's how we use our key concept here to help narrow down and decide that the third choice is the best choice. If you have questions, reach out. Hopefully you got it right. Otherwise, good luck.